Today, we get to spend some time with Michael Learning. We're gonna drive to LA. Miss Michael, we're coming to get you on today's episode. Today on Kindness Matters, the incomparable Michael Learned holds a very special place in the hearts of our VPP patrons. Known best for Emmy-Award winning role as the matriarch, Olivia Walton, on the iconic TV series The Waltons, Michael's career has taken her from stage to screen, including our beautiful theater several times over the past decade. Today, on this very special Mother's Day episode, we sit down for a virtual chat about Michael's family life, her incredible career, and her time here at the VPP, and, of course, why kindness matters to Michael. Join me, David Hogan, for our grand finale of Kindness Matters. Happy Mother's Day to everyone, and do we have a special presentation today? Our friend, your friend, our beloved Michael Learned on Zoom from Los Angeles. Welcome, Michael. Hello, Michael.
Thank you. Hi, David. Hi, everybody.
Welcome. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Now, you're a mom of 3 beautiful boys, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
They're not boys anymore, honey. They've got a few gray hairs here and there. But I have 3 sons, and I adore them. I worship them. And we're going to go out and have a bite to eat. Not all 3, unfortunately. They live all over the country. But I have 5 grandchildren, and I'm a blessed woman.
Now, do they spoil you on Mother's Day, Michael?
Of course.
That's right. Men spoil your mom. Excellent. And tell us a little bit about them being a little bit Canadian.
Well, Lucas was born in Toronto.
Yes.
My youngest. So and their father, Peter Donat, was Canadian. And we lived in Toronto until Luke was, I think, about 5. And then we moved to San Francisco to go to the American Conservatory Theater there. But I always think of Toronto as my home, really. Nice. I mean, it's where my kids were little.
Yeah, that's nice. Now, do they have dual citizenship, or are they American?
They did, but they gave it up. They had to make a choice. But I think they could choose back if they wished.
Right, yeah.
They live here now. They live in this country, so.
Right, yeah. And tell us about the 7 kids you grew up on TV Land, Mother. There's 7. We were going through it, and we were naming, and we got all 7 of your kids. Tell us about the Walton kids.
Those kids are like my kids, too, although they're all middle-aged now, too. But we just had so much fun together, and, you know, I was always respectful. They all happened to have very great parents themselves. They didn't need a surrogate mom, really. But we were like a family.
Yeah.
Ralph was a fabulous, you know Ralph, because he and I did love letters together, and we really did love each other very much. And so the love that was shown on the television was very real between all of us.
Now, who was the young? So Elizabeth, what's Elizabeth's name?
Tammy Kotler.
And she was the youngest. How old was she when you first began?
I think she was just maybe 5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah, really, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So they must have really, the bonding of you being motherly, it must have really taken on set, eh?
Well, she had a wonderful mother, Cammie. Yeah. Her own mother was terrific. But I think Ralph and I were kind of the patriarchs of the TV family for them.
Oh, yeah.
And if they had a problem, their own parents were always on the set. Not both parents, but at least one parent would always be on the set with the kids.
Right.
So we didn't even try to be their parents. We just loved them, and they loved us.
Yeah. It's interesting because both David and I grew up with the Waltons, and we say you are our surrogate mother. Even though I have my own mother, I think of Michael as my mom. I do. It's really
Well, I'm
fun.
lucky to have you as a son, David.
Yeah, I love you, Michael. Years ago, I got to tell a fun story. Years ago, I was going to school in New York, and I waited on you. Did I ever tell you that story, Michael?
You told me that a long time ago. Where was it, Rubens,
Yeah,
or
that's right.
where was it?
Rupert's, yep. On Columbus
Yeah,
Avenue, yeah. It
and
was
you never
you
said
and
a
Mary
word.
Tyler Moore. You both were,
Yes,
that's right.
we were buddies. We lived in the same building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was fun. I
back when
met,
the money was flowing.
yeah, right? So tell us about coming to Victoria Playhouse for your first time with your then TV husband, Ralph Waite. We loved having you here. Tell
Yeah,
us
it
about
was
that
wonderful
experience.
for us. We it was wonderful for Ralph and me because we got to have time together, and when we weren't working, and even more time together when we were doing love letters, because it's such a wonderful piece, and because of our feeling for each other, which was very, very real. I mean, we were never lovers per se, but we did have a deep spiritual bond for each other, and working at Petrolia. Well, I had worked with you in Sarnia,
That's right.
and that was, you always create a wonderful atmosphere for your artists. You make us feel welcome. You make us feel special. I think, especially for Ralph, he wasn't very well when we started
I
Love
remember.
Letters, but I think working for you guys brought him back somehow. He was very weak in the beginning, and he felt so loved and cherished. We both did by your audience and by you guys. That I really think it was it regenerated Ralph in a very positive way.
I just spent with Michael up in Canada on a play, and it was in Petrolia. It was in an agriculture area of Canada, up above Detroit, a couple hours in. And we sold out the house for a month because people wanted to come and meet John and Olivia Walton. And then they stayed for the play, and they enjoyed it. They had a great time, and so did we. And when I got there, they asked me, they surprised me with a request. Would I come down to the lobby with Michael after the show and just meet everybody and let them talk to us and take pictures and sign autographs? And I said, absolutely not. I don't do that kind of thing. I gave all I got up on the stage, and now I'm going home. And so they got a little confused, and they said, well, all right, if you don't want to. When I talked to Michael afterwards, she said, it's really kind of nice. I said, all right, I'll try it. And I went down, and for the month, I just couldn't believe how much I enjoyed myself and how grateful these people come. In fact, one old lady, she was 90-something, she said, now hurry up and sign this thing. I got to get home and watch the Waltons. But I realized how much I appreciate all of you for the kind of affection and love you've given towards us all these years.
Now, would that be the first time you worked together on stage?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm so old. I can't remember a damn thing. I love being old because now I can excuse everything. I can just say, well, I'm so old. I don't remember that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it was really. We may have done love letters once before or something,
yeah.
but I honestly don't remember.
Right.
But this was a very special experience
It
for
really
both of
was.
us.
Yeah, that
Really.
was really special for us. And then we brought you back for my favorite, Miss Daisy Worther. You were driving Miss Daisy. Why do you continually do that part? Why is that something you're interested in?
It's a classic.
Yeah.
I never get tired of it. I always find new things. I love her character. I love her. She is my grandmother. I feel like I'm channeling my grandmother. And my grandmother had Ambrose Lewis, who was supposedly her chauffeur. But years later, I said, I know you loved her, but were you actually lovers? And he went, I went, oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
That's
But he was such a stabilizing influence in my life as a kid. He was like a father to all of us in a way. He was the person we trusted. My parents were wonderful, but they were a little giddy at times, and at times a little overwhelmed with 6 kids and all the things that they really tried to do for us, which was wonderful. What they were trying to create for us what they didn't have as children.
Yep.
But I think at times they got a little overwhelmed, and Ambrose was always the one we turned to when we needed stability. When I ran away from home, which I did frequently as a kid, I was a pain in the neck. And Ambrose was the first person through the police doors, always.
Oh, that's amazing. So the journey with the character of Hoke and Miss Daisy, that's just such, I just love it. I love that journey.
It's a love story. It's truly a love story.
It really is a love story, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, my favorite line is when you say, Daisy says to Hoke, "You're my best friend," right?
My best friend, yeah.
Hoke?
Yes, sir?
Do you still have that Oldsmobile?
From when I first come here? Come on, Miss Daisy. That thing been in the junkyard 15 years or more. I drive in your next to last car now. 63 Cadillac. Running fine as wine.
Oh, you ought not to be driving anything the way you see.
How you know the way I see unless you're looking out of my eyes?
Oh,
Yes?
you're my best friend.
Come on now, Miss
No,
Daisy.
really. Oh, you are. You are.
So
And
tell us
she-
about that journey to get there.
Well, I don't know that she's a little bit of a bigot, but I don't think she knows she is. And I think she kind of finds that out in the course of the play and in the course of her admiration and respect for Hoke, which takes a little time. Because she's feisty, and I think she's that way with her. She's that way with Booley too,
Booley,
though, her son. I mean, it's not like she just picks on Hoke. She picks on everybody.
Yeah.
And, but I think she discovers during the course of the play that she really loves this man.
Yeah.
And truly respects him and reveres him in a way.
Yeah.
And it's a big discovery for her
Yeah.
that he's her best friend.
Yeah. And for him too, like he discovers that too, that he needs Miss Daisy. The love,
Yeah.
You're right, it's a love story. I love that.
It is a love.
You know your letters, don't you?
My ABCs? Yes, pretty good. I just can't read.
Oh, stop saying that. It's making me mad. If you know your letters, then you can read. You just don't know you can read. I have taught some of the stupidest children God ever put on the face of this earth. And all of them could read enough to find a name on a tombstone. The name is Bauer. Bauer.
Bauer.
Now what does that B letter sound like?
Sound like a bee.
Of course, Bauer.
Bauer.
That's the last part. Now what letter sounds like an
R.
So the first letter is a,
B.
and the last letter is an
R.
B-R.
B-R.
Butter.
Butter.
It even sounds like Bauer, doesn't it?
Sure do, Miss Daisy. That's it.
That's it. Now you go on like I told you in the first place and look for a tombstone with a B at the beginning and an R at the end, and that'll be Bauer.
So then
I love doing the play. I never get tired of it, which to me means it's a classic.
Yeah. It's cinematic in a way because it's so scenic, right? They jump around so much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
oh, it's beautiful. I love that play too. Then we invited you last summer to do On Golden Pond. We're still going to do it.
Yes, you did. You did. And this darn pandemic thing. God, it's such a tragedy what's going on.
Yeah, it's awful.
But I'm hoping you'll reinvite me.
Okay, you're on. You're booked. We need. So we're praying to do it in 2022. You have done the play before, correct?
Long time ago, I toured with Tom Bosley, and we had a good time. it's really his play.
Norman's play?
But I managed to find a few little things in there that she plays off of him, you know.
Yeah,
She's the straight man,
yeah,
but you really have to dig into how much she loves this guy,
yeah,
her husband.
yeah. And the thing that I really like about you as an actress is that you're a dramatic actress, but you always find humor. Humor is important to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely, because
Yeah.
life is funny.
Yeah, life is funny.
Life is funny.
And when we were combing through the script together, remember we had those conversations. You said, "No, that's a funny line. Don't you think that's a fun?" And I heard it through Michael's ears. I go, "Oh, that is funny. You're right, Michael." And I was reading it more dramatically. And yeah, you had a great sense of humor. Was Tom
Well, I
fun
think
to work with?
sorry.
Tell me about.
I think the audience is her. The audience reacts through her reaction to him.
Yeah,
You know, they're looking to her to see how she's going to react to him. And she gives them permission to laugh because he's a bit of a bore at times.
Yeah.
You know, he's sort of self-involved, and so if she's hurt by him, then that disturbs the audience. But if she laughs at him, or if she finds humor in his behavior, then the audience is free to laugh as well.
And there's that beautiful scene too where you actually stick up for Norm with your daughter, and you say, "No, he is." You explain it, but you actually love him. Like it's a powerful. That's a great scene, between you and your daughter.
Yeah, it is. There are no bad parts in that play.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think every part is a good part, and the play has enormous humor and pathos as well.
So, how does an audience come and witness the show on stage without remembering Fonda and Hepburn? Like, because how do we go? Okay, explain as an actress. What do? Do you ignore Hepburn and you just play the play, or?
Well, I couldn't do Hepburn if I tried. I have a friend who does a wonderful imitation of her without being cruel. She just does a wonderful imitation of her. But I just have to forget everything they did. I don't see the movie again. I haven't seen the movie in years, so I just try to make it my own as best I can.
Yeah.
And so much of it depends on who I'm doing it with. And I think Hal will be, if he does it. I mean, if we're both still here in 2022.
Yes, you will be, Michael.
He and I have worked together before, and he's a wonderful actor, and I think we'll just have the best time with it.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to presenting that, and we, of course, always love having you here. You're the most requested. When we announce our friend Michael Learned is here, the phones just ring, so you're loved.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm
that
not.
makes me feel so good.
Yeah, you are loved. Now, kindness matters. That's this episode. Does kindness matter to you, Michael?
If we didn't have kindness, why would we want to be alive? I was taught as a child to be considerate, which is a form of kindness. I was taught you don't slam a door in a hotel after 9 o'clock at night. You keep your voices down so that you don't disturb people in the other room. You you give up your seat for somebody, and now people are giving up their seat for me, but not too many. But I was taught to give up my seat for an older person, to just be considerate, which to me is the same thing as kindness.
Absolutely.
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Nice.
And
Lovely.
and humor also plays a big part in my life. Just sometimes the worst things can happen, and if you can toss it off with a joke or a laugh, I've managed to make people laugh sometimes in the middle of their sobbing about something, and I can say something that's not heartless, that's considerate, but that at the same token they can have a little chuckle at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So, I'm not always kind. Sometimes I'm mean as a snake. My husband will guarantee you that, but
Not true. I would disagree.
No, well, you're not married to me. He says, you are so mean. You're this mean. And he puts his arms way out like this. But, and he doesn't deserve it. He's a good guy.
So when we witness at the end of our episodes, end of our shows, you meet the audiences. And both David and I, and we're in awe on how you take your time with everyone you meet. You don't rush them along. You literally have a conversation with everyone. All 420 people leaving the theater to meet Michael Learned. How was that experience? Why are you so generous that way?
Well, how generous of the people to wait and want to say hello and thank you for your performance. And I find it very enriching. I don't find it onerous at all. It's nice for me.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Meeting people, and I'm at the end of my life, really. I hope I go on for another few years, but I'm not at the beginning or the middle of it. I'm at the end of it. So meeting people and having people express that. I had a woman I was younger then, but she was maybe the age I am now. And she was waiting around in the lobby of a theater I was in off Broadway in New York. And she had this funny straw hat on, and she was kind of dressed cheerfully, but not chicly, if you will. And she just looked at me, and she grabbed my hands and she said, "You people make life worth living."
Wow.
And I thought that was just the greatest compliment that anybody could. It brings tears to my eyes now thinking about it. I think, because as an actor, you often think, we're at the lowest rung of the totem pole. We're just actors. We're not opera singers. We're not this. We're not that. We're just actors. And for somebody to say that for maybe an hour and a half, you can help transform someone's life if you're in a good play.
Yep.
And you do a good job, it's very meaningful to me.
Yeah, and a lot of people that come to our theater, it's their church. They just leave so full, and that's great.
You have a great respect for your audience, and you literally have brought Stratford, which is one of the great theaters in North America. You've brought that to Petrolia. You brought Stratford to Petrolia. So aren't they lucky? I mean, and you bring people like Hal and me and Ralph, and you use local people too that you've used in Stratford actors, Stratford musicians and performers. Yeah. And I think Petrolia is really lucky to have you guys. I don't know what made you pick Petrolia.
They picked us, and we're happy.
After Sarnia, they just said,
Yeah.
"Please come in."
Yeah, so
they were
grateful.
smart.
Now it's 10 years now. So you first joined us 10 years ago. That was 2012, right? Yeah.
Really? It goes too fast. Oh, David, don't
just so
remind me.
fast.
It goes too fast.
Before we conclude this Mother's Day special, tell us what's up next with Michael Learned.
Well, speaking of Mother's Day, I'm going to be playing Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer of all time. I'm going to be playing his grandmother. And, from Olivia Walton to Jeffrey, from John Boy's mom to Jeffrey Dahmer's grandmother is quite a journey. But, she was a God-fearing woman, and she loved her grandson. I have a grandson living with us now, one of my grandsons, just for the time being. He's working in L.A., and I love him so much. And I thought, what if I suddenly discovered he was a serial killer?
Right.
How horrible that must have been for her.
Yeah.
Because you love your grandkids, and do you stop loving them suddenly because you discover they're really a monster?
Right.
The horror of it, it's just, horrendous.
Yeah,
I
right.
can't think of a better word.
Have you shot it yet, or are you shooting it?
No. We start shooting May 9th. I start shooting May 19th. They've started shooting already.
Right.
I'm in, I think, 6 out of 7. There are 10 episodes, and I'm in 6 of them.
And where do we see it? How do we see it?
On Netflix.
Netflix. Awesome.
But I don't know when. I don't know when it'll be on.
Well, we'll
Ryan Murphy's producing it. He's a wonderful
Oh, he is
producer.
a wonderful producer.
He produced Nurse Ratched and
Yeah.
Hollywoodland, and I think I got that right.
Yeah.
Anyway, he Pose. He's done a lot of wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm thrilled to be working with him.
Congratulations. Well, they're lucky to have you. There it is. Congratulations to them for having our Michael. They're smart.
I get crabby doing TV. I like theater better.
Yeah. Well, on behalf of the Victoria Playhouse, David, Mark, and Calendar, our producers, we love you. We wish you a happy, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
And we thank you for spending Kindness Matters with us. Everyone, thank Michael Learned. Woo!
Thank you all. I love you dearly, and I can't wait to see you and be there with you.
Thank
Really.
you, Michael. Now, David Rogers is going to take out our episode with a song dedicated to you and all mothers and his mother as well. So this is David Rogers for you, Michael. We love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
For all the things I never said, I'm sorry that I never did. I thank you for your precious time, for teaching me how to climb. I love you more than summertime. You've been such a good friend of mine, and every sacred word is true. I learned to love because of you. And oh, Mama, I saw the world, and it was good and full of kindness. And every step I took, you held my hand and watched me grow. You'll never know how much I love you. And I am not afraid, I'm not afraid. I finally grew. Mama, this one's for you. You always look beyond the dark. You told me joy lives in the heart, and life is what you make of it. Make sure to cherish every bit. And oh, Mama, I saw the world, and it was good and full of kindness. And every step I took, you held my hand and watched me grow. You'll never know how much I love you. And I am not afraid, I'm not afraid. I finally grew. Mama, this one's for you. Mama, this one's for Mama, this one's for you.